Hi guys, happy Friday. Today's a really quick lesson on just how to identify if a compound probability is going to be independent or dependent. So yesterday you looked at compound events, and that's when more than one thing happens, like you flip a coin and then roll a number cube. Those events that you worked on were all called independent events, right? Because whatever you did to the first had no effect on the second event. You didn't have to worry about what you got the first time. It wouldn't change the number of outcomes for the second time. However, sometimes the probability is going to be different for the second event based on whatever happens in the first event. And that's called dependent. Oh, I got a comment. For example, if I pick an item from a bag without putting it back, right? So if I have a bag of 10 red marbles and 2 blue, and I pick a red marble and I don't put it back, now I have 1 less red marble. So it's going to change the number of outcomes. So let's look at some of examples. It's more like common sense if you kind of just think about it. I don't know if that explained it very well, but we'll find out. All right. Porter brings a box of donuts. Let's be fancy here with to work that contains 1 donut in each flavor. First, the secretary chooses one, then the office manager makes a selection. Are these events dependent or independent? Well, if the secretary is going to pick one, so the box has, let's say, 12 donuts. So if she has like a 1 in 12 chance of getting coconut flavored donut, is that going to affect what the office manager picks? Yes, it is, because first of all, now there's only 11 donuts, right? So as soon as the number of outcomes changes, you know it's dependent. It's like the main clue. Also, there's 1 less of whatever flavor she picked. So that's dependent. The second one depends on whatever happens in the first one. Submit. Diane picks a card at random, puts it back, and then picks another card at random. Oh, so she's going to put it back. So it does not matter what card she picks first because she's putting it back. As soon as you put it back or you replace an item, it's an independent event. Nothing about the first selection is going to change the number of outcomes for the second. So that is independent. Yay. Luna, took out a coin out of her pocket and flipped it. Then she flipped it again. Are these 2 events dependent or independent? Well, when you flip a coin, nothing about it's going to disappear after you do it, right? It's not a magic coin. So the first, you might think, like when you're playing a game, if you get 10 tails in a row, you think like, oh, I have a better chance of getting heads or tails. But no matter what, it's always 50% probability. So no matter what, these are independent events. It doesn't matter what you got the first time. It's still a 50% chance. Okay. Gosh, Alan, what are you writing? I'm reading it on my phone. Sorry. Okay. Adele picks a card at random without putting the first card back. I didn't even know what the first part said, but she's not putting the first card back. So if she's not going to put it back, there's going to be 1 less number of cards the second time. So right away, I know that the second event is dependent on the first one, right? If she picks a green, the probability is going to be different the next time. Right now, there's 2 greens out of 6. If she picks a green, and takes it out, now there's only 1 green out of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's hard to count. It's late. So those are dependent. Whatever happens the first time is going to affect the number of outcomes for the second time. Yay. I'm going to jump up a level. Let's see if this gets any harder. Oh, no, it doesn't. The skill only has 1 level, so you should be good. Students in Ms. Harmon's class pick numbers, blah, 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 blah. Maria picks her number first, and then Zach, picks a number. So if Maria's going to pick her number, that number is going to now be eliminated, right? Because we're going to go in the order. That's how we're going to pick who presents. So if Maria picks number 28, she gets to go last, and now that number is not in the pack, and there's one less number. So this is dependent. Yeah, I could do this all day. Cassie, kind of like Cassidy, rolls a 6-sided dice. And at the same time, Finn flips a coin. So those are totally independent of each other, right? Nothing about this is going to affect this. Independent. Yay. Let's go. So we're going to spin the spinner twice. Are these two events dependent or independent? Well, nothing about what happens on the spinner the first time is going to affect the spinner the second time. Independent. Don't think about it weirdly like, oh, now I know how to spin the spinner, blah, 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 blah. No. Right now, it's a 1 out of 4 chance to get yellow, and no matter what, the second time, it's still going to be a 1 out of 4 chance. Yay. Samir, an employee of the marketing, is conducting phone surveys. Yay, surveys. Anne, and then random, someone named Nate. Okay. What? I don't know. Huh. I think it's independent, unless like the list of numbers he crosses it out as he goes, so then it's one less person to call. I'm not sure. Maybe it's dependent. Independent. I don't know. I'm gonna let you see if I mess up though, because I'm not afraid to make mistakes, right? Yeah, I got it. Okay. Jen and Riley, see, I was overthinking. Don't overthink. I get it. I told you that's how most of you make your mistakes. You overthink like I just did. All right. Jen and Riley get haircuts. Jen calls her for lunch to book one. Oh, so she's going to book a time. As soon as you book a time, that time gets taken away, right? So I already know there's going to be one less time. So she's got the remaining number. So now it is dependent, right? Because whatever time she picks, it's going to affect poor Riley, who called after lunch. And now there's one less time for her. Poor girl. Yay. Lucia, that was my friend in elementary school. They're trying on costumes for a costume trunk. She picks one, and then Bridget, her sister, picks next. So that's dependent because she has to wait for her. And there's going to be one less costume to pick from. Yay! We're going to pick a marble at random, and then we're going to put it back. As soon as I put it back, I know it's not going to affect the second event. Independent. Putting it back is the same thing as replacing it, which means if I want purple, it's 2 chances out of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 out of 8. And then the second time, it's still going to be 2 out of 8 because I'm putting it back in. Independent. Yay. Zoe picks a marble at random without putting the first one back. She picks a second, without putting it back. That means I'm going to take it away. I'm going to have one less marble. So it depends. It's dependent. This is what happened right now. Huh? This is weird. Todd walks by and decides to sniff one of the tester bottles. Later on, Ruth passes by and also decides to smell one of them. Oh, that has nothing. That's independent. Doesn't matter. All right, Natalie is conducting a survey. She kicks 99 random people and decides to ask one more person. That's independent, right? We realized before. It's weird. I'm going to go to 100 just because I make you go to 100. Go to 100. We're not going to put it back. As soon as you don't put it back without putting the first card back, means it's going to change the number of outcomes. Oh, okay. Natalie and Vivian pick out seats at the school orchestra concert. Natalie picks first, then it's Vivian. So that depends. So Vivian can't pick the same seat as Natalie. So there's one less seat to pick from. So her probability depends. Wyatt buys a house. These are so interesting in a neighborhood. A few months later, Sharon buys a different house. I'm going to overthink this one. There's one less house to pick from, right? Because Wyatt bought a house. So I feel like it's dependent, but I feel like I could be overthinking it. I'm saying dependent because if Wyatt bought a house, now there's one less house for Sharon to buy. But also, like, does it really matter? Oh, yes. In the patio, Sebastian's Pizzeria, the Estrada family decide on a never meet to order. In the back of the restaurant, a group of friends also chooses pizza to order. That has nothing to do with it. It's not like if you order pizza, they say, sorry, they already ordered pizza, so you can't. Independent. Appointments. So that's dependent, right? If I'm going to make an appointment, that appointment gets taken out of the book. So now there's one less appointment for Kimberly to pick. No, I'm not ready for this. I'm actually going to turn this off because you're probably not listening anymore. And I'm talking to myself in my house, so it's weird, Mr. Hat, but I like doing it. Dependent. Let's see if I can do it quickly. I'm in, puts it back. Independent, yes. Independent. They have nothing to do with each other. Yes. Dependent, right? Depends. I mean, one less kid. Yes. Oh, not gonna put the first marble back. So dependent. Repeats are allowed, so it doesn't matter then. Doesn't matter. Okay. Almost there. Each question is needed. Abigail receives a question, and then Shane does. That's crazy. Everyone gets a separate and unique question, so there's no cheating. Wow. College is kind of like that sometimes. So that's dependent, right? Yay. We're going to spin the spinner twice. Independent. Oh, one more to go. The gumball machine. Rudy gets one gumball. So he's obviously not going to put the gumball back. So there's going to be one less gumball, which means it's dependent. And yay! I did it. All right. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope this helps. I hope you listened. And let me stop.